Hey guys, in today's video I've come up with an exercise that's going to teach you how to reference like a pro. So what do I mean by reference? It's a really critical thing you do whenever you're making dance music. You have a track that you love also loaded into your DAW, in this case Ableton. So say you're making a house track, you have one of your favorite house tracks or a house track that you want your track to sound like in your DAW. That means that if you're ever going through and you're wondering, is my kick loud enough? Is my clap loud enough? You can solo your reference track, listen to how loud their kick is or their clap or any of their instruments are, and make sure that your levels are the same as theirs. If you go through this entire process referencing each section of your track against your reference track, at the end your levels will be identical to your reference track, which means you'll never be in a situation where you export your final track, listen to it compared to one of your favorite songs, and you're feeling completely disappointed and underwhelmed with your own project because you will have referenced it against your favorite track the entire time. So it means by the time you go to compare them both, they're gonna sound perfect. Hopefully I've explained to you why it's so important referencing music. Now I still think, even though I've explained this to you, this is something that a lot of people will struggle with. So I've come up with a really awesome exercise I'm gonna give you some files to download, and you can follow along and do this exact exercise with me. Let's do it. Hey guys, Phil Harris here from EDM Coaching. I've put this YouTube channel together to help anybody who's in their first year or so of making dance music and help teach them loads of really cool tricks and tips that's gonna massively speed up their process. So if that's you, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. Okay guys, so in the description below, I'm gonna give you a download link where you can go and download all the files so you can follow along and practice this in your own time. So you'll find something called a mixing exercise. Inside there, you'll see a folder with stems and reference. First thing I want you to do is bring in the stems. So click in stems, grab all the different stems like this, drag them into Ableton, and what it'll do is it'll try and put them all on one line. So if you hit shift, or actually not shift, control or Apple if you're on a Mac, it'll put them all on different lines like this. So release and you've got them all there. So now you've got a kick, a hi-hat that sounds a bit like this, a clap, and a bass line. If you put them all together, they sound a bit like this. But the levels are currently really wrong. They're all off. So the next thing you need to import, if you go to reference, I want you to go and get full track or track full and drag this into its own lane down at the bottom here. Okay, awesome. So what we're now going to do is take this off, so unarm this lane so it won't make any sound, but it means when we solo it, we'll only hear this track, and when we unsolo it, we won't hear it. And what I want you to do is listen to this track now. I'm going to bring the volume up a little bit, and what I'm going to do is just reference this. So first things first, I'm going to take off clap and hi-hat. I'm just going to focus on getting the kick drum in the same volume or ballpark as my reference track. So this full track down here is the reference track. So I'm going to have a listen. In fact, let's just start with the bass line so we can get the volumes level matched. So I know my bass line's got to go up a bit. Okay, now let's bring the kick in, and we're just going to balance the volume levels against our reference. I think it needs to come up just a tad. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. Okay, now we're going to bring in the clap, and we're going to focus on bringing that clap. So I'm going to actually bring the volume right down and just bring it up until I feel like the clap is as loud as the reference. Okay, let's bring this up. Now let's reference it. Probably a tiny bit too loud. Okay, now I'm going to turn on the hi-hat and I'm going to do the same thing. Let's just bring this down and let's have a listen. And at this point I can hear my bass line's a bit too loud as well. And there you go. As you can see, what I eventually had done is just match the reference track perfectly. Now, just in case you guys struggle with this, what you can actually do is you can use references, just the kick and the bass together, so you can practice just getting the kick and bass the same as a reference, or the kick, bass, and the clap, and you can use that as a reference. But essentially, this is what you want to practice. What you can do is mess all the volume levels up and go back and try it again. And eventually, what you'll do is train your ears to be able to listen out to the sound of your track. So hone in on just the clap, and then hone in on the clap of your reference track, and get good at matching those volume levels. This exercise here is absolutely superb. And if you manage to do this and you practice this and you can start applying it to your own tracks with your own reference sources, your level of music production is going to go through the roof, because you're going to be matching volumes exactly like your favorite tracks out there. So I can't tell you how freaking awesome this exercise is. Hopefully you enjoyed it, guys. If you did, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment, and also, why not go and watch this incredible video of me making a Brazilian bass track right now. See you in tomorrow's video. Ciao!